We're taking another look at the 2025 recruiting class, and today we're shining a spotlight on 4-star wide receiver Corey Sims, who signed with USC. We're going to look at his highlights. We're going to look at his 24/7 Sports player profile page. Before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're covering your freshmen, the 2025 recruits. Those guys you're hearing about in spring ball right here, so you get a good scouting report on them. I'm covering your USC Trojans too, a few of them a week. We're going through your whole class. Click that button, stop missing out. If you're a true fan, you don't want to miss out. But we're starting off with this 24/7 Sports player profile page. If you're here for just the highlights, fast forward a few minutes, you'll get there. But we got to get to know him. He's a 4-star prospect, ranked as the 82nd best wide receiver in the class, 3-star in the rankings, 43rd best wide receiver in the composite, 6'3", 205. That's during the recruiting process, but that's an indicator we got a frame and we got good size. Here's where the rankings of 24/7 Sports disagree with college football. 35 offers. Some big schools looking at him. A lot of schools looking at him. 35's good. It's pushing to that elite territory of the numbers we see here on the page. 40's around elite. We're pushing that. And now they do not have him in the top 250. 43 overall. 330 overall here for the composite. So he might even be a better player than what the composite has. We're going to flesh that out with the highlights. Let's see what's up with that. Coming down here, do we have a scout? Nope. They may not have looked at him. They might have just barely looked at him. That's the thing about that. We're going to do that today. Nebraska, Missouri, of course USC. Let's take a look at the highlights. Let's see what's under the hood here. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. USC fans, I'm going to have more Trojans coming at you. I got another one too. 6.5 minutes here. Let's roll. Let's see what he's doing. Downfield. Start and stop. Upfield. Ball skills. Everything's looking good. Everything's looking good off one play. Another one. So you got a guy that's using his size that can post up a bit. Seems like he's pretty fluid. 2-play sample. So we'll see. More and more down there. Good hands. That's what you want. That's what you want from a guy at his height. Trying to get your Drake London back. It's not a comp yet. I've only seen 5 plays. But we're trying to get our Drake London. Oh, we got some route running there. Start, stop, and keep it up. That's good. Good feet for his height. So the thing about taller wide receivers, we want to watch the breaks. Ins, outs. We want to see how those breaks go. Taller wide receivers, give them a little bit of grace on the drifting because they're working against physics. But if it's limited drifting to no drifting, you need to get excited. So that's one thing to look at, but we got some burst here. We got some burst. Route running solid. Do you see him like crash into his midline and come off? Very smart. You don't see that too much at the high school level, honestly. Good after the catch. Good after the catch. So why do you think 24/7 Sports is low on him? Some people will say because he's a USC guy. I want to hear your opinions. I'll try and get a synopsis after more highlights because they have some tendencies. Good feet, good stiff arm, good pivot there. I will say this. Sometimes the rankings don't really matter either. Star ratings either. Like, you just need good players. You need to fight on the depth chart. You need that. Like, I don't really care about those star ratings. I watch the highlights. I try and see what the player's good at and see their platform of development and how they can build off of that going into their collegiate career. Because you could have the best highlights out there or be the best prospect out there. If you don't develop, then it ain't going to happen. But you could be a guy lower on the rankings and you have a few good things to your game, but next thing you know, you get in the USC program or any program, you work your tail off. You're a big shot. You're moving up the boards. And we see that a lot. We see that a lot. Recently, guy in the draft, let's just say LeJohntay Wester. Guy like that. What is it? Walk on FAU? Balls out there, balls out of Colorado. Now we're going to be playing in the NFL. Like, things like that. Rankings don't matter. You got to look at the positives of the player and how they can spring off of that. There we go. There we go. I like his height. I like the ball skills that we saw. I like him after the catch. Some people we'll probably talk about his speed. I think we got good speed. I think we can pull away a little bit. I like that we don't have that 10-4 100-meter time speed, and that we don't have to rely on that, and we got good feet. We got good feet. That's the thing about that. He's got good route running for the height. I don't have a comp, but USC fans, I do not know, like, what all football you watch, because you're in the West Coast. I think you're going to get your tall wide receiver back that can break off routes a little bit. I think you're going to get that tall wide receiver back that can get downfield, make plays, break off routes a bit. You're going to get that. So you had that in terms of like a Michael Pittman or Drake London. Guys that get downfield, make those home run plays, breaks off routes a bit, that are technical. I'm not making comparisons, but I'm trying to make comparisons to what I think you would know. I'm in Ohio, you're in the West Coast, so we watched, like, all I got on my TV is Big Ten football and what I searched for. So I'm just trying to help you out with what you're seeing. You got a guy here that posts up, rises up when the ball's in the air. Good hands. He's got good feet. I like his feet. Seeing a lot of good wide receivers in this class. A lot of wide receivers that were very good in last year's class. The thing about wide receivers coming out is, like, top to bottom, just the whole wide receiver game's been getting good. The whole wide receiver game's been getting good. And you can get excellent prospects later in the rankings. Later, like, you can almost, like, spend your resources. He's got good route running for the height. I would say route running height ratio. Like, that's a new thing I just created, but it is a thing to look at because physics is working against you when you're taller. But his ability to break off routes, his ability to sell routes, he's very clean with that. He's got the height. He's good after the catch. He can read the momentum of the players around him very good. Tough to bring down. So, I said earlier about that, like, they don't have a 100-meter time listed, I don't believe. And 24/7 Sports are zealots on that. Look at that, him rising up, making the play. On top of that, sometimes, a lot of times, speedy wide receivers rely on just speed and there's no technique to them. Well, limited. Let's just say limited. I don't want to gaslight. I guess if you're saying I don't want to gaslight, you're not gaslighting. Kind of weird thing because you're just trying to be objective. There we go. He's got good hands. But as long as you got some speed, which he does, you can pull away a little bit. Look at that. His feet's good. He's very sudden, too, out of those breaks. Good downfield. Like, I'm just pulling out, like, play styles, not comparisons. Like, the Mike Evans play style downfield, where you're bodied up, you come up. Not a comparison at all. Not a Mike Evans player. He's good off the release, coming back to the ball. Look at that. Look at that. Blocking, we're showing that off a little bit. I think we're solid. I think we're solid here. We're back rolling. We're going after the ball there on that clip. I know it. But I like him at wide receiver. I like him at wide receiver. I think you guys got a good prospect here. Good platform here to springboard off into his collegiate career. We got a good base. Good route running. Good feet. Limited drift, breaking off routes. None at all. He's very poppy off the step. He's got some explosiveness. He does have some speed. Very good hands. Can use his body downfield well. Good body control. This is a wide receiver who is underrated. It is also a very talented wide receiver class. But going down the positives here, this is a wide receiver that can springboard and be very productive at USC, given the time to develop and opportunities, and as long as he keeps working hard. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. Thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.